You're Disperp back with another video, and I just got done checking out the first episode of the new Halo series that is streaming on Paramount Plus. Now, there's a lot of, I guess you could call it controversy going into this series. Some people being upset with some creative choices, but I would say, to all that, I kind of like the fact that they said straight up that this is not canon. This is kind of like their own kind of Halo story that they're doing, and it makes sense. It definitely makes sense based off of the first like 18 minutes of this first episode. And we're also going to talk about the ending because that's where it kind of got weird for me. So let's start with the beginning, like the first 18 minutes, because I feel like the first 18 minutes of this episode was probably my favorite part of this first episode. So we get introduced to this brand new character named Quan, and she is like with a group of, like, I guess you could call them Ravagers or just like bounty hunters. They're completely separate from like the USMC and everything that they got going on. They kind of have issues with like Spartans and Marines and stuff like that. That quickly changes because the level of violence that I seen in this first 18 minutes was fucking crazy. I was going into this expecting like Mandalorian Disney Plus level type of violence, but no. When you see people get hit with plasma rifles and plasma pistols, bro, they're losing limbs. They're just getting absolutely destroyed. And I loved every single second of it, even though it was really sad. I loved the action. Seeing the Covenant just pop up and just wreck shop. It was just crazy. Halo in the games doesn't even do this anymore. They're not even as graphic. You're seeing a bunch of like elites get their heads blown off and stuff like that. It was really crazy. Seeing the energy swords and just how they go through people, it was crazy. And it's just complete chaos until the Spartans arrive, and we get some really dope action scenes with Master Chief as he drops down. We get the little first person view, the sound effects. It's very nostalgic, bro. Like when you hear his shield go down, it's like the same sound effects, and then when it boots back up, it's crazy. It was really dope. I still want to see somebody get hit with a sticky. That'd be dope. Um, so the Covenant's here because they're looking for a specific artifact that Chief comes along and finds. And once he touches this artifact, it kind of starts to bring back some of his memories. So I'm assuming that this is what the first season is going to be about, Chief finding out who exactly he is. Um, because, yeah, they call him John. Well, at least Dr. Hasley calls him John. But if you know anything about the Halo lore, these Spartans are pretty much kind of part machine esque. They kind of get their memories wiped because they just want them to be soldiers, warriors, things that they can control. You know what I'm saying? And I like that they also kind of touch on that there's this like kind of propaganda. And obviously, the powers that be are kind of trying to plan something else, because Quan being like the sole survivor, they want her to kind of play nice with the UNSC. Yeah, I know I messed it up the first time. I was saying something else, and that's an interesting angle. We get teases of Cortana. For some odd reason, they don't want that to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? So Dr. Hasley has a lot of things working against her, and it seems like there's going to be a power shift because the chick that's in charge right now, she's just doing way too much and she's way too shady. And we also get a bit of dialogue from who looks to be our main antagonist. We didn't get her name, but she's like this blonde chick. She's wearing like this weird dress or whatever. Um, she also is working with the Covenant, which is interesting. She's human, but she's working with the Covenant. I think she might have something to do with the flood. They might do a different take on the flood in this compared to the video games. That's what it kind of looks like. So they kind of look at Chief as him being compromised by touching this thing, and then it becomes everybody against Master Chief at this point. So with all that out the way, I really like the first 18 minutes showcasing the action and knowing what we can kind of expect. The visuals aren't anything like to lose your mind over. I just like the fact that there's a lot of things, a lot of callbacks to the games as far as just sound effects and just I can't wait to see what else they have. And like if we get to see a warthog in action, that'd be really dope. So with all that aside, let's get into my biggest negative of this episode. And I don't really know how I feel about it. It's Master Chief taking off his helmet. Now, I know actors, they're kind of like self absorbed and they want you to always see them on camera. But goddamn, bro, you did not need to like have his helmet off, I should say, for that long of a period of time. It made sense for the scene because Master Chief wanted Quan to trust him, and because it got to a point where she had a battle rifle aimed at him, and he was pretty much saying like, "That's not gonna work." So that's why he takes off his helmet. He's like, "If you really want to kill me, you're gonna have to aim for my head like this." I just feel like he had his helmet off way too long. It was kind of weird. It's a little jarring. It kind of took me out of it. But I'm willing to see where they take this first season because just with the action and kind of what they're kind of doing with this whole entire series is really interesting in my opinion. Now I could see a lot of people hating this first episode, probably liking the first 18 minutes and just hating the rest of it because it is a lot of getting the chief in control and stuff like that and him kind of going off the rails. Some of the acting is not the best. Some people definitely sound like they're just reading off of a script. it's I want to see more of the Silver Team, that being Chief's people, and the other Spartans. I want to see more of Cortana, where they take that angle. Maybe they kind of do something similar to the games where they make her like a villain. I don't know. I think they could do a lot of interesting things with this series. I think just this first episode kind of surprised me. I think I gotta watch more to kind of get a real sense of the direction on what they want to do here. Because what it looks like is it's going to be a lot of Chief kind of just digging through his memories. And whenever he gets introduced to Cortana, they're going to probably build up that relationship. As far as who's the real villain here, obviously it's probably the blonde chick that you've seen in the trailers, and you've seen her with the Covenant. I'm wondering if that one Covenant that got away, or that one elite soldier that got away, is the Arbiter. If they're gonna do that in this series, that would be really cool. Let me know how you guys feel about this first episode. What were some of your favorite moments? What didn't you like? Till next time, I'm out.